trouble.
Real stories, real recovery.
Like, people's pronouns and how to address them are important in their identity. Like, don't be
Even in this route of recovery, get to real stories, real stories, real recovery. I am Kat, and I'm on the road of recovery.
Hi, my name is Tonya Duhl. I'm from Benton County, Ohio, and I am in recovery. My name date is 11/17/21.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much for joining us. If you could start off by sharing a bit about growing up, your childhood.
Well, growing up was really rough. I grew up with an alcoholic father. He is in recovery now, thank the Lord. So, yeah, I don't want to go into too much of my childhood. It was rough, but, you know, I survived it, so. I'm going to say, like, my mother was killed by a drunk driver when I was 21. I was pregnant with my first child. That shattered my whole world. Shattered my whole world. That, like, I didn't get addiction right after that. I just endured life daily, like, horribly, it seemed like, because I couldn't correct it. My anxiety kept me down. Like, I got married and I had kids, and I was so afraid of that next freak accident that I wouldn't even let them go swimming. I wouldn't let them do nothing. I should shelter them at the beach. But, September 3rd, 2016, my husband died in a massive heart attack. I was like, oh my gosh. And then 11 months after that, I was repeat raped and almost killed. So about a month after that, I endured so much trauma that, like, I could not function. I didn't want to sleep, but yet I didn't want to get out of bed. So I tried, methamphetamines, and it gave me exactly what I needed to get my butt up, to do what I need to do for my children, and just be there, be present.
So during, all of those tragedies, is there ever anybody that said, hey, you should try grief counseling, or hey, do you want to talk to somebody, or anything like along those lines?
No, like, my family was here in Ohio, but I had moved away to Tennessee. And then after the economy collapsed in 2009, I come back to Kentucky. So that's where we were at when my husband died. So I didn't have family.
Right.
And it was so much easier to be secluded and no one know. Like,
How many kids did you have? Two kids?
Two.
And how old are they?
My youngest just turned 16 and my oldest turned 20 in March.
Okay. Gotcha. So they're young kids, they live to their dad, kind of alone in the world.
Yes.
So who introduced you to meth? And that's not something you can just go to the border drug store and buy.
Right. I had actually tried it a couple times when I was like 19 or 20.
Correct.
So I knew about it, and then a neighbor at the time was doing it and I didn't know. And then she had brought it up and mentioned it. I'm like, yeah, let me try that. Let me have some of that, because I was like, yeah, that would get me up.
And about how long did that kind of functioning lasted?
A couple years, maybe not quite 2 years, ish, but yeah.
Can you talk then a little bit about how this progressed?
Yes. Well, I had moved back to Ohio. I loaded my kids up when we moved back about a year into my addiction, I think, or maybe 6 months into my addiction. I come back to Ohio. I met a man who I fell in love with, and he ended up, everything was great at first, but then he ended up being abusive. Mentally, physically, it was just worth it. So, like, my addiction just kept getting worse and worse, and I was hiding it, like, because I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. I didn't know even how to process them or even extend them. They were so hard. So, like, my addiction just kept processing, like, and it just got really bad. I did get out of that relationship, and moved into a small apartment, and that's where it continued to spiral. Like, I went from snorting to smoking to injecting. So, like, it just got really bad. Like, it got bad to where I wasn't functioning. I wasn't being the parent I should have been. I wasn't being the friend I should have been. I was just looking for that next high. Just looking for that next high. And I even got suicidal.
Absolutely. A psychosis and stay up for days. Yeah. So, did Children's Services ever get involved?
Yes. Right. They did. I actually moved back further into Ohio, closer to my family, it was about 2 hours between that distance. But once I got back home with my family, it actually, my disease, it got worse. It got even worse. So, like, I wasn't hiding things very well. I was leaving my children with family for, like, hours through the night. I would come back whenever I felt like it. Like, It was just too horrible. Finally, Children's Services got involved, but I'm honestly not sure how. I don't know, but they did. And they gave me a test, a drug test, and I failed it. So they immediately took my children out of my care and gave them to my father. He got temporary custody. And that made it worse a bit. That made it so much worse. Like, I was so irate because I couldn't believe why they would do such a thing. I didn't feel that I was a bad mom. I didn't feel like that I was doing anything wrong. Obviously I was. I wasn't there like I should have been. But yeah.
Well, and trying to figure out how to heal yourself, that there's struggling. I mean, and that, the addiction, and probably nobody makes really very good decisions on that. So,
I mean, all that does is just numbs your feelings more and more. And that's what I wanted at the time, though. I wanted to be numb. I didn't want to feel all that trauma that I had been through, because I still obviously did not work through it. I just tossed it in the rug. I covered it up. I stayed high. And all I know from there is, like, it's kind of a blur, because I didn't get to see my kids much. My addiction got even worse. Like, I don't know how it kept getting worse, but it got really bad. Like, and I don't remember much. I just stayed high for about, I think 6 months. I don't even know. I really don't know. That happened in August, and I think I went to treatment like February.
okay.
So, like, I stayed high constantly, and it got so bad that, like, I couldn't handle not having my kids. I felt like a piece of crap, like, I just felt like I was in scum. Complete and utter scum. And things have gotten so bad with my mental health that, like, I tried to commit suicide. I remember taking so much stuff that I knew that I would not wake up. And my bowels went, everything went. I don't remember hardly any of it. The next morning, my best friend had woke me up. She finally got me up, or had the EMS there or something like that. And they took me to the hospital, and I was in the hospital for a couple days. Yes. And from then, I made the decision, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot do this. And I got on one of the treatment facility, Land of Gibson, in Ironton. Right? And I went there. Right? I did 90 days there. I did relapse after that, getting out, though. Okay? I relapsed one time. Like, when I got out, I didn't go to, like, IOP or anything like that, like I should have. I just kind of started I don't know, isolating again, maybe. And I sought out the drug, and I used it again. And then, between the times of being in rehab and stuff, I also gave my life to God. I gave my life to Christ. Right? And so when I had relapsed, I felt so guilty about that. Like, I knew better. And I couldn't handle that feeling, so I stayed high for like 6 months. And then finally it's like I had enough, and like a light switch flipped in my head, and I gave my life back to Christ, and I have been like gung-ho recovery ever since. Like, I put myself into IOP. I did that like 3 times a week. I was going to recovery meetings. I started going to church 3 times a week. Like, bam. I just gung-ho into it. Like, yeah.
So that's about a year after Children's Services initially got involved.
Yes. Yes.
What did they have to say about the relapse and not really doing anything and whatnot?
I really didn't talk to them much. They didn't communicate with me like they were supposed to, and I obviously wasn't reaching out like I should have been either at the same time. But by the time it was said and done, like, I got my butt in gear and did the right thing, and then I got my kids back almost immediately. Like, I was awarded full custody back of my children. Like, yeah. So, all right.
So we get full custody back. You've made this decision. We're going to church, going to IOP. How do you go about building a support system that's people that are healthy? Like,
well, IOP was a good place. Like, my counselor was my biggest lifesaver, honestly, because she made sure that I could trust her, like I could be open with her, and I could. Like, there was a couple times that I was wanting to use again, and I'd actually got the drug, but I didn't use it, and I gave it to her. I think that happened twice, but like, and then there was a few times when I was clean that I found old paraphernalia in my camper, like meals and stuff that I could have gotten caught on. And it freaked me out, so I went out in my car and locked myself in the car, and I called her, and I was like, listen, like, I was in tears. And she come out and got the stuff and took it and disposed of it. Like, so she was my main go-to. But after getting involved in church too, like they're a big support for me. Like my pastor, I've been calling anytime, day or night. Like, yeah, they were there for me. So church kind of handed it to me, I think. My church tended to sign.
Yeah, beautiful. Now, service is oftentimes a component of recovery supports, like the church and whatnot. How do you integrate like service work into a pretty full life?
Now, well, I run an NA meeting every Saturday. I am also a drug and alcohol counselor now.
Right.
Yes, I work for TASC of Southeast Ohio. I've been doing that since January. Before that, I went and got my peer support, but I didn't actually use the license. I did get a job at a residential rehab, but I went to the case manager for a few weeks. Good job. Then got my CDCAs, and now I'm a drug and alcohol counselor. Very cool, though.
Yeah, we're sure. You could also talk about the spirituality component and how churches has been a benefit. Because that's another part of the recovery.
It's a big part of my recovery. If it wasn't for the Lord Jesus Christ, I would not be here. Like, I know that. Like, especially when I attempted to take my own life. When I got to that hospital, even though I spent 2 days there, they couldn't find anything in my system. I know that was a blessing from the Lord right there. And then getting into recovery, like, I don't actually crave the drug or any of that type of thing. I still have triggers, don't get me wrong. I just gotta work through them. But like, I just gotta keep my prayer life right. I gotta keep talking to him and letting him help lead me. Like, it just, I don't know, like, I don't suffer from PTSD anymore, anxiety, depression. I don't suffer from that stuff anymore. And I really believe it's because of Jesus. Like, I really do. Like, he took that stuff from me, right?
I think that's the really amazing part about recovery. You know, there are spiritual sides of this, in a spiritual program for many people, but it was very much individualized.
Yes. It's
Right about. Yes. So, if you could share that about how you develop your relationships with your daughters, with your dad.
My dad was much easier to rebuild because I was always a daddy's girl, and I never stole from him. I never like lied to him or any of that type of thing. Like I never did that type of thing. So my relationship with him was just always there. He's always there for me. But like my children, especially my oldest, my youngest has special needs, so I didn't really have to repair. I mean, I guess I did, but not like the 20-year-old. Like I had to repair that. I had to wait. I had to give her so much time because you could tell she didn't really want to trust me. It took her a while to actually become live in my own again. It took, I don't know, a good year or maybe a little longer to get a good relationship with her back. Like I remember crying many nights because it's like I wanted her to love me again, the rest. But it felt like she didn't love me. It felt like she didn't want me in her life anymore. But I had to keep reminding myself that I did not get to where I was overnight. It took 4 or 5 years. So I had to give her more time to understand that she could trust me and understand that I was there for her and I wasn't going to do things that I'd done before in addiction.
And what would you say are the couple of biggest things that you did that really helped her see that actually?
Well, consistency. Consistency is one. Just when I would say things, I would follow through on them, and I just had to show her. Like, I just had to show her that I was serious about recovery. Like, because I didn't work their entire lives, so Daddy, I didn't have to work. So, getting into recovery, I now have to have a job because he's gone. So, just even with that consistency, shows her that I can be trusted again, that she can rely on me. Like, I've gotten my own home, and they both live with me again. Even though she's 20, she's still in my house. I don't want her to go nowhere. I know she will eventually, but I have my own car back, like everything. I've rebuilt everything from the ground up, and
that's a pretty quick period of time, 2-3 years.
It is actually, and it's all because of the good Lord. I'll tell you right now, like it is.
So, well, and you did the footwork. When you talked about that action, when you said you were going to do something, you did. You showed up.
Yes.
So your story is just incredible on being able to really make those changes, and then once you made a decision, it's amazing to see what happens.
Yes.
So for a day that you might be struggling or having a bit of an off day, is there a message of hope or a parable that you can share that really speaks true to you?
I do have a Bible verse. Like, it's, I know the plans that I have for you, says the Lord. It's plans to prosper you and not harm you. So like I like to just meditate on that, and also tell myself if I'm having a bad day, I just got to get through today. That's all I got to do is get through today. Because normally when I go to sleep and wake back up the next morning, I'm okay. But I still struggle.
Everybody does it. Life is a struggle. Yeah, having the skills now, and you have a plethora of them, and you can figure out how to manage.
Those tools are very essential to learn. They really are.
Thank you again so much for taking time out of your very full life to be able to share your experiences. It's incredible. Your stories, heartwarming and inspiring.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.